Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is a strange case of Sean, here with the 8th chapter of my story, New World Order, Undertaker. A story written by me, with some assistance from ChatGPT. We have just witnessed an archaic spring stampede. Let me catch you up, but before I do, please be sure to check out the previous chapters as well, and of course, if you enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I appreciate all support. Now, the first match of the pay-per-view saw Diamond Dallas Page defend his WCW United States Championship against the nWo's Kane. In a competitive match, the tide turns when Paul exposes a steal of the turnbuckle, which GDP gets rammed into. He rebounds into Kane, who then delivers a chokeslam and wins the championship. Next, we saw the Tag Team Championships that were defended in a triple threat ladder match, with the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, taking on the teams of Booker T and Stevie Ray, the Harlem Heat, and Rick and Scott Steiner. In a pivotal part of the match, Booker T looked to unhook the championships when the lights flickered, and randomly, Vampiro appeared wearing an nWo shirt and attacked the opponents of the nWo. He was then taken out by Scott Steiner. The Outsiders were able to take advantage and retain the championships, although confused. In the main event, we saw the WCW World Championship being defended in a match between the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and The Undertaker. The match was highly competitive, with Savage working methodically on breaking down the champion. The referee gets caught in the crosshairs, which leads to some nWo members to come out, but Savage is able to stand his ground. Savage then stops a sneak attack from Paul, who he then delivers an elbow drop to for his troubles. The distractions allow Taker to gain the advantage and hit the Tombstone Piledriver to win and retain the championship. During Taker's celebration, we did see some more light flickering and thunder sounded in the arena to end the show. And now we are on to the aftermath. And with that said, let's get started, shall we? On the Nitro after Spring Stampede, we see nWo representative Eric Bischoff make his way to the ring with a ginormous grin on his face. He gets in the ring and begins to talk. The crowd boos. He begins. "It's great to see you all as well. You know, there's a lot of people in the back who thought the nWo was just going to be a phase, a trend, something that would burn out as quick as it lit up. Well, I think last night at Spring Stampede, we proved every single one of them wrong. See, what you saw wasn't luck. It wasn't some fluke. It was domination. The nWo owned that ring. We all embarrassed your precious WCW. The crowd then chants WCW. Bischoff continues. You can chant WCW all you want, but the truth is, the letters that matter, the letters that sell the tickets, the letters that sell the pay-per-views, the letters that the world tunes in for are nWo. Face it, we run this show. We possess the titles, and after Spring Stampede, we've made it crystal clear. We're all gonna be here for a very, very long time." He taunts the crowd. Then the music of the Harlem Heat plays, and out come Booker T and Stevie Ray to the cheers of the crowd. Booker begins. "Bischoff, you're out here running your mouth about how the nWo are gonna be around for a long time. Nah, see, you might have had your little moment at Spring Stampede, but let me ask you something. Where were you? You did nothing last night. We've been fighting for a long time and winning gold long before you even thought about wearing that leather jacket. We had that match won, but then you had that scrawny clown come out and screw us over. We're out here to tell you that Dusty is giving us another shot tonight for those titles." The crowd cheers. Bischoff then responds, "Booker, that is official nWo business, so don't you worry about that. But if that's really what you want, well, consider the challenge accepted." The crowd cheers, and the commentators confirm the match is made official for the main event. In the main event, we see the tag team title match between the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and the Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray. Both teams make their entrances and formal introductions are done. The bell rings and the match begins. Booker T starts off hot against Scott Hall using quick strikes, drop kicks, and a big spinning heel kick to get the crowd fired up. Stevie Ray tags in and uses his power to control Hall. keeping the pace slow and physical. He then tags in his brother, who continues the attack. Hall is able to break away from Booker and gets to his partner's corner. Nash gets the tag and delivers some heavy blows to Booker. The Outsiders isolate Booker, working him over in their corner with quick tags and double team offense. Booker fights back with a Harlem sidekick on Nash. Booker goes to tag in Ray, but is cut off by Hall. Ray yells at Hall. The ref tells Ray to calm down. Later in the match, the referee is distracted by Eric Bischoff, who is able to slyly send in brass knuckles to the ring. Booker intercepts the knuckles before they can get to Hall. Booker and Bischoff lock eyes. The referee sees the knuckles and removes them from the ring. The referee orders Bischoff to leave. Hall goes for a wild shot on Booker, but he dodges and then gets hit with a bookend. Booker goes for the pin on Hall. After the ref hits 2, the pin is broken up by Stevie Ray. Booker clutches his head. He turns and sees his brother standing over him. Ray then hits Booker with a boot to the face. Nash and Ray then join together to beat down Booker. Hall then hits an outsider's edge to Booker and pins them 1, 2, 3. The nWo retain the tag team championships and gain another new member in Stevie Ray. But why? Nitro ends with the nWo celebrating, and a shot shows Bischoff happy but confused. On an episode of Thunder, we see WCW Executive Vice President Dusty Rhodes make his way out to the ring. He grabs a microphone and begins to talk. Let me tell you something, Eric Bischoff. I've been sitting back, watching you and the nWo guys strutting around, acting like you all own the place, hearing you saying ludicrous things like how you run this place, how you run WCW. Well, let me tell you some truth right now. You don't run Dusty Rhodes. You don't run the American Dream. You can hide behind the Outsiders, you can hide behind your Undertaker, but sooner or later, you gotta stand on your own 2 little feet. The crowd cheers. Dusty continues. You've been pushing people around for a while, so now we're all gonna see how you like it. So I went ahead and made a match for you. And guess what, Jack? It's already signed, sealed, and delivered. That's right. Spring Stampede wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Eric Bischoff, you and me, one-on-one, in that very ring, tonight. I'll see you there. The crowd cheers, and we see a worried Bischoff backstage. Back from break, we see Bischoff pacing backstage. We then see Paul walk up to him. Bischoff begins. Paul, what the hell is going on? I am not a wrestler. How can Dusty just make that match? Paul responds. Well, the contract was sent over for the match, and it was a challenge to any member of the nWo. Eric is puzzled. Bischoff continues. So how did my name get on there? I wasn't consulted about this. Paul continues. Well, our leader felt this is a good chance for members to prove their worth. And I suggested your name, which Taker accepted. Bischoff is now angry. He goes to strike Paul, but he's stopped by Vampiro, who intervenes. Whoa, let's all calm down here. The nWo doesn't need any infighting. Bischoff continues. You're not in the nWo, so why are you butting in? Vampiro continues. I am not in the nWo. Yet. But I'm willing to prove my worth to the King of Terrors. I don't have any problem stepping in for Eric to take on Dusty. Bischoff and Paul look at each other. Paul responds. What is good for the nWo needs to be at the forefront. This is what Taker feels is necessary, and Bischoff, you have a job to get done tonight. A job to get done by yourself. Paul then walks away. Eric looks worried. Vampiro smiles and says to Eric, don't worry, if you got me, I got you. Vampiro then pushes the camera away. In the main event of Thunder, a concerned Eric Bischoff makes his entrance to the ring. He then looks on to see the Executive Vice President, Dusty Rhodes, making his entrance. The bell sounds and the match begins. Dusty approaches the center of the ring, milking the crowd with his trademark shuffle and taunts toward Bischoff. Bischoff stalls for time, slipping out of the ring repeatedly and jawing with fans to avoid locking up. When they do finally tie up, Dusty easily overpowers Bischoff, tossing him into the corner and landing a few big bionic elbows. Bischoff uses cheap shots and his martial arts kicks to get a brief advantage, but Dusty no-sells several and fires back with punches, sending Bischoff scrambling again. Dusty grabs Bischoff and rams him into the turnbuckle 10 times to a loud crowd count. The action spills outside, where Bischoff rakes the eyes and shoves Dusty into the guardrail, buying himself some breathing room. As Dusty regains control and sets up for another big elbow, Vampiro slyly sneaks down the ramp. Bischoff holds his eye in the corner, calling for the referee's attention. The ref tells Dusty to back off. Vampiro slides into the ring behind the ref's back and blasts Dusty with a roundhouse kick, dropping him to the mat. Vampiro quickly rolls out, and Bischoff grins, signaling that the end is near. But instead of covering Dusty immediately, Bischoff struts around the ring, mocking Dusty's dance and taunting the crowd. As Eric continues to taunt, Dusty fires up, hitting rapid punches, the flip, flop, and fly, and a huge bionic elbow that floors Bischoff. Dusty then goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3 to win the match, despite Vampiro's interference. Dusty celebrates with the crowd, pointing to Vampiro on the ramp and daring him to try again. Thunder ends with a shot of Eric Bischoff staring at the lights. After a disastrous Thunder for Eric Bischoff, it is announced there is to be an appreciation night for him. In the closing segment of Nitro, WCW World Champion The Undertaker makes his entrance with the nWo following behind him. They get to the ring, and Paul grabs Taker a mic. Taker begins. Through thick and thin, the nWo has remained strong. We've had to change regimes, replace members, and even prune some weeds that were eventually going to strangle the nWo. But as I said, we remain strong. We remain with the gold and have gained even more. The crowd boos. Taker continues. Now before we talk about the man of the hour, we need to address a couple things. Hall, Nash, congratulations are in order for keeping the tag team gold in our possession. Kane, congratulations also needs to be extended to you. You're more than proving your worth to the cause. Stevie Ray, you've made a valiant and worthwhile decision by coming to our side in this war. And Paul, your sound advice and encouragement have been keeping the foundation strong for the cause. The nWo clap while the crowd boos. Taker continues. Now we look to acknowledge and appreciate one member in particular. One man responsible for being the catalyst for this group and its core. That man, please come out here. Eric Bischoff. Bischoff makes his entrance with a renewed confidence, but is also selling his wounds from Thunder. He enters the ring. Taker shakes his hand. He continues. This night is all about you, Bischoff. Tonight, we acknowledge you. We appreciate all that you've done for the nWo. Please, say some words. He hands the mic to Bischoff. He begins. Honestly, Taker, I don't know what to say. This all came to a surprise to me. I'm usually in the all-know of things nWo, and this certainly was a secret from me. It's like you said, we are as strong as ever today since we were in the beginning. I may not have come out on top on Thunder, but I have a mastermind for this cause, and Taker grabs the mic from Bischoff. He begins. What happened on Thunder was quite unfortunate, but in one sense, it was rather fortunate. Eric, I acknowledge your effort and I appreciate for showing me what needs to be done. Eric looks confused. Then, a coffin tagged with the nWo logo makes its way down the entrance ramp. A look of concern takes over Eric's confusion. Kane drops his championship and spins Bischoff around and delivers a chokeslam to him. The crowd is stunned. Stevie Ray then picks him up and hits a back suplex bomb to him. Nash and Hall look at each other reluctantly as Heading hits a perfect plex to him. Kane picks up Eric and throws him to Hall. Paul yells at Hall to hit the outsider's edge. Hall then hits the move reluctantly. Ray picks up Bischoff and gives him to Nash. Ray yells to Nash to hit the jackknife, who then does so, again, reluctantly. Henning then picks him up and hands him to Taker. Taker then hits a tombstone pile driver to Bischoff. Taker nods his head to Kane. Kane opens up the coffin, then Taker throws Bischoff in and shuts the coffin shut. We then hear Taker say, "The nWo no longer requires your service." Thunder then sounds again in the arena, followed by more mysterious words as Nitro goes off the air. The audience and members of the nWo especially were sent a message. The audience learned just how vicious an nWo led by The Undertaker can be, while the nWo learned how failure could possibly be handled moving forward. What is next for the nWo without Eric Bischoff? Perhaps we'll find out in the next chapter. Thanks for watching, stay strange, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.